guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be reacting to a video called American Foods That Are Banned in Other Countries. Okay, hopefully it's not something that a lot of people consume, but let's check it out and comment, like, and subscribe.
Most Americans want to believe that the United States is the gold standard of clean food. But that belief may not hold up to scrutiny. From unsanitary practices in mass production to the addition of dangerous chemicals, countries have good reason to give the side eye to imported foods claiming to be USDA approved. That's right. This week we're talking about American foods that have been banned by other countries. But before we get
it's like, do not tell me how something is actually made. I don't want to know. I'd rather live in ignorance.
started, be sure to subscribe to the Weird History Food channel. Then leave a comment and tell us what other world food facts you would like to know more about. Now let's see how wrong the rest of the world really is.
Skittles? Oh no.
Since the dawn of Skittles, there have been rumors about the dangers of eating them. Every one of us heard at least one
dangers?
classmate claim that the red ones make you sterile, and
No.
the yellow ones, they give you cancer. Turns out, it might be worse than that. First of all, your classmate wasn't wrong. The dyes known as Yellow 5 and Yellow 6 have been linked to hives and hyperactivity in children.
Oh yeah, it's
Sweden
bad.
and Norway have banned the candies out of concern. The European Union will most likely be banning Skittles at the end of the year, having already swapped out some of the dye for more natural flavors.
What?
This is because of something called titanium dioxide, which can be found making the colors pop across the rainbow. Research linked titanium dioxide to damaged DNA, which can lead to cancer.
Oh my god.
While Europe may be ahead of the Skittles awareness curve, America is quickly catching up. In May of 2021, the Environmental Working Group asked the FDA to categorize titanium dioxide as toxic. And yes, before you ask, right now the FDA says it's okay to consume some of that chemical compound.
Okay.
You can taste the rainbow, but just in moderation.
A lot of things
California is home to
have
an
that.
ongoing lawsuit against Mars Inc., the parent company of
Like
Skittles.
chocolate Mars?
The lawsuit claims Skittles are not only toxic, but are unfit for human consumption. So maybe for now, play it safe. Just go have some Swedish fish instead.
Okay, I do have to mention, I think California has like very strict laws on a lot of things, so it's like, it's not necessarily like, should not be like fear-mongering. Bread, okay. Just bread. Wonder bread?
Ever looked at a piece of crusty French baguette, be it in cartoon or in real life? But let's be honest, it was probably in the hands of Pepe Le Pew, and think, I can't make a sandwich with that. As great as we talk
What
about
would
the
I do?
invention of sliced bread, a lot of European countries have actually banned much of what you'd find on America's wide grocer shelves.
What?
That's because we make a lot of our bread not just with grain, but with a variety snap packs worth of additives. Like azodicarbonamide,
What
for
is that?
example, which helps bleach flour and strengthen dough. Fun fact about azodicarbonamide, it's also used in a spectrum of industrial products, including yoga
Like
mats.
yoga mat?
Downward dogs. The European Union is really against the idea of its citizens eating yoga mat material and has banned their use
Sure.
in food products.
Pork. Why?
Pork,
I'm so
the
scared.
other white meat, is a staple of American meats, along with chicken, fish, and beef. From bacon to ham, hot dogs to pork chops. American meat eaters consume about 67 pounds of pig per person every year.
It seems like a lot.
Soo-wee, my heart is stopping. Don't get us wrong, other nations indulge in swine just as much, if not more, than Americans.
Okay,
So
why is it
why
banned?
doesn't the U.S. export scores of succulent bacon-bearing boars? Well, it turns out America adds a lot of chemicals during processing. Ractopamine in particular is used in many pig farms to raise porkier porkers. Ractopamine, which we put a dash of in a lot of foods, has been banned in 160 countries, which all consider the drug unsafe for human consumption.
Oh my
This in
god!
turn has led to a prohibition of pork exports across the world.
That's
The
crazy.
EU hasn't touched the stuff since outlawing ractopamine in 2009. China and Russia have been ractopamine-less since 2013. Maybe that's because ractopamine has the same effects as an intoxicant on humans and can cause tachycardia, headaches, and muscle spasms if consumed in large enough quantities.
Oh my
But
god!
It is a small price to pay for a perfect piece of the pork.
Not the chicken, what?
Hygiene in America often comes down to dousing stuff in a chlorine bath and calling it FDA approved, and chicken is no exception. Pathogen reduction treatments, or PRTs, refer to the use of different chemicals to destroy harmful microbes on raw meat. Somewhere along the line, American food regulators decided a quick chlorine shock was the best way to kill salmonella and other bacteria on uncooked.
Isn't it like you wouldn't eat raw chicken? Wouldn't you change would you kill the bacteria once you cook it?
Poultry. Chlorine marinade. And look, it's not that the EU is against taking a long gulp from the public pool now and then. In fact, the risks posed by chlorine consumption are relatively low. The big concern is that the chlorine baths are just an eye-burning Band-Aid on a larger problem.
Okay.
The tip of the beak, so to speak. They're worried that the PRTs are insufficient to deal with more than just the normal bacteria and don't get at a potential contamination from things like low
I can't watch this. This is
unsanitary
awful.
coops on farms. The EU called the chlorine rinse an easy fix, arguing no chemical rinse will ever remove all bacteria from meat heavily contaminated as a result of poor hygiene.
Yeah.
It hurts extra to hear it from the French.
Oh, Mountain Dew. Yeah, that's radioactive.
Mountain Dew is the closest any soft drink has come to being fully weaponized. But did you know in Austria and Norway, the soda is outright banned?
Doesn't surprise me.
That's because Mountain Dew's signature Chernobyl radiant hue comes from tartrazine, also known as yellow 5.
Oh, the yellow 5,
And if your ADHD hasn't kicked in yet, you'll remember that color and number from the Skittles section earlier. It's been linked to headaches, hyperactivity, and the desire to be annoying to other people. Ironically, the qualities that make Mountain Dew a soda non gratis in other countries is exactly what the brand promotes: a frenetic, over-caffeinated lifestyle. Do the do.
Just have coffee.
Blast.
No, stop.
Woo-hoo. And while you might be able to find Mountain Dew in Europe, it's going to hit a little different. That's because Europe spent exactly 2 years in the 90s riding the dew before discontinuing it. What is being sold as Mountain Dew in the EU has a recipe closer to the original carbonated beverage, as created by Tennessee beverage bottlers Barney and Ollie Hartman in the 1940s. The original Mountain Dew was meant as a whiskey mixer, with the name coming from the affectionate Scottish term for moonshine. It'll tickle your innards, is what the old ads used to read. No lies detected here.
Yeah.
Mountain Dew!
Oh my! Okay, I get where he's coming from. Now you understand everything.
Little Debbie has been providing Americans with comfort snack food since the 1960s, with their variety of zebra cakes, star crunches, nutty bars, fudge rounds, and cosmic brownies. But their big claim to fame, as anyone who has ever had their lunch packed by a parent can attest, is the Little Debbie Swiss Rolls, a mixture of rich chocolate cake and butter-creamy filling. Over 900 million cartons of Little Debbie products are shipped each year, but none of those cartons go anywhere near Austria or Norway. Blame those rascally additives, yellow 5 and red 40.
Again?
Swiss rolls contain 32 milligrams of dye per product, and in those quantities, they've been shown to have an adverse effect on children.
Oh no!
We're not just talking about causing hyperactivity, although one study found that cutting all artificial food coloring from diets may be 1/2 as effective as prescribing kids Ritalin. And while we can't prove there's a direct connection between artificial food coloring and cancer, they do cause damage to white blood cells, causing them to mutate after only 3 hours. Exposure to these dyes could cause tumor cells to multiply way more rapidly. For that reason, researchers say a high chronic intake of food colorings throughout the entire life is not advisable. If they weren't so delicious.
Do not have this every single day of your life.
You can buy Little Debbie's Swiss rolls in the EU, but they come with warning labels advising parents of the potential dangers to kids. You know, like cigarettes.
Yeah, like the cigarettes. What could be in Special K?
When you hear the words banned breakfast cereal, you're probably imagining one of the countless kid-focused brands of sugary morsels.
Correct.
The oh-so-delicious Cookie Crisp. So you might be surprised to learn that it's actually Special K, the most boring cereal on all of the earth, that has been banned in Denmark and discouraged in the EU. How does the healthiest box of flakes on the shelf get banned?
Healthiest?
While stuff like Reese's Puffs and Cinnamon Toast Crunch continue to enjoy free passage.
Yeah, for me, those are
Ironically,
worse.
because of its supposed health benefits. In the UK, Special K has been put on blast by the Advertising Standards Authority for exaggerating how much folic acid they pack into portions. Though it's still legal to buy in Europe, Denmark has completely banned Special K since 2004 for all its fortified vitamins and minerals.
Okay, so you can't get it.
Regulators argue that Kellogg's cereal's unnaturally high levels of everything from vitamin A to zinc actually qualify Special K as a genetically modified organism, or
What?
GMO. More specifically, Special K is swole with the same artificial compounds that studies have shown to potentially pose health risks, specifically to
crazy.
children and pregnant women. In conclusion, you may want to stick with crunch berries.
Oh my god, so all meats. Okay.
You don't need to take a transcontinental flight to visit countries that have banned American foods. Just drive up to the Canadian border, flash your passport, and sign an affidavit saying you're not smuggling any steak tartare in your trunk. Today, consuming
because
raw
it's
meat
raw?
has fallen out of fashion in the US, much like other foods like veal and pate, which don't make you sick but might make you sad. But while baby cow and overstuffed goose liver is illegal in parts of America now, tartare is not. See, while veal and pate may be uncool, they are also served hot. Unlike
That's
tartare,
disgusting.
which
I'm
is
sorry.
chopped up cold meat, straight from the cow. Undercooked or raw foods can lead to an increase in food poisoning
Yes.
and parasitic infections, especially in beef and poultry. But
Yes.
considering how fancy pants steak tartare is, Titanic food one might say, you'd think countries might look the other way and let the luxury delicacy slide. And for a long time they did. In Canada, meat has to reach an internal temperature of 145 degrees Fahrenheit, the equivalent of a medium rare steak, in order to be considered safe to serve. But those rules aren't strictly enforced. That is,
Yeah.
until recently. In 2021, restaurant owners in New Brunswick selling steak tartare were all served cease and desist letters.
Seriously? You
Canadian
can't
public
get
health
that?
officials had decided that amid the ongoing health crisis of COVID-19, the last thing their citizens needed was a side order of botulism.
So you can't get like steak tartare in Canada. Okay.
Is there
Coke.
anything more American than Coca-Cola? The fizz, the flavor,
But you can get
the former
Coke
secret
everywhere?
ingredient, cocaine. Coke is basically apple pie in beverage form. And it's not just Americans
Sure.
who are cuckoo for Coke. Invented by a pharmacist in 1886 Georgia, Coca-Cola quickly caught on overseas. It was the World War II GI
Your physician is oh what medicine should I take? Just have Coke. Okay. Cool.
drink of choice. Pre-pandemic, Coca-Cola had 500 brands in over 200 countries, making it the best-selling soft drink and one of the most recognizable brands of all time. But
Yeah.
there will always be exceptions. And unlike the other entries on the list,
This is so
for
creepy.
once, it has nothing to do with health concerns.
Oh,
Everybody knows that Coke is not good for you.
sure.
We just decided collectively that we don't care. No, the
drinking
countries that
that
have outlawed the
garbage.
brand have done so because of what it represents, a symbol of the encroachment of American capitalism. From 1962 to 2011, the U.S. banned sales of Coke to Burma as part of sanctions against the military junta that ruled the country until 2011. It
Okay.
resumed sales in the country in 2012. Today, Coca-Cola is only unavailable in 2 countries with long-term trade embargoes with the U.S. North Korea hasn't allowed Coke since 1950, and the bubbly beverage has been banned in Cuba since Fidel Castro seized supplies in 1962. First
Wow.
the prequels, now Coke. Is there anything that can't be ruined
That's
by the federalization
insane.
of trade taxation? In a twist of irony and lime, Cuba was actually one of the first bottlers of the beverage outside of America.
Of course.
Today, Cuba Cola has replaced Coke as the country's soft drink of choice, though black market sales abound. After all,
course.
it is the birthplace of the Cuba Libre, aka
Correct.
the rum and Coke.
It's Coke. M&M's? Oh no.
M&M's, the delicious melt-in-your-mouth, not-in-your-hand snacks, were originally a collaboration between the Scion sons of the Mars and Hershey dynasties in 1941. Like Coca-Cola,
Never so
M&M's
long.
gained international fans during World War II, as American soldiers popularized the candy overseas as the chocolate that won't get your trigger finger all sticky. But you won't find the candy in
Okay.
Sweden, where it's banned due to a trademark conflict with a popular national candy that also features lowercase
Oh, and there's
m's
a peanut
as its
M&Ms.
signature. When Mars introduced the candy to Sweden in 2009, a court ruled its marketing too similar to that of the Norwegian Marabous, which resemble Kit Kats. During World War I, Marabou had moved its manufacturing to its Swedish neighbors, where it received a royal warrant of appointment by the King of Sweden. And here we thought the Swiss were the chocolate snobs.
Yeah.
Should you want to check out what the fuss is all about, Marabou's is sold in IKEA stores here in the US. Well, at least it's good to know that M&Ms don't contain any harmful dyes or chlorine residue, right? That's a pretty important victory for hard-shelled chocolate.
Yes.
So what do you think? Which of these banned foods sounds the most delicious? Let us know in the comments below, and while you're at it, check out some of these other videos from Weird History Food.
Okay, yeah, I think the greatest part about this video was finding out that M&Ms do not contain any like harmful chemicals. Yes, as a M&M lover, I'm glad. Or if they are, please don't tell me. I think I'm like so many of these are like, I'm so like, do not tell me like how are they actually made, because I wouldn't want to. Well, that's probably the point, right? Like, it's like the cigarette thing of like they'll tell you in the back of their cigarette like, oh, this like can kill you. Like it doesn't tell you it doesn't kill, but there's like the photo of like the smoke, the lungs like completely black and stuff. So it's like, yes, although that doesn't deter me though. I don't know, like something that I really like. I don't think like does that work? I don't know, like. I've seen things and I'm like, I'm gonna eat it anyway. Yeah, it's also in the warning, like there's a warning label, but at least I think like at least my logic is that as long as you're not eating this like every single day of your life, like it's gonna be okay. Like of course if your main diet consists of like a lot of these all things, it's like, well, yeah, maybe change things around, like, yeah, maybe like take a deep, like, you know what, I'm gonna think about what I'm actually eating. But if you are having one of these things like every once in a while, like it's gonna be okay, like it's fine, who cares? Like you're not, again, it's not a main part of your diet. I don't really care, like at least, again, that's at least what I tell myself. It's like, dude, who cares? But I think like it's quite surprising. I think for me, like the steak tartare one was kind of crazy, because I think I've seen like those, isn't that like a very popular food like all over the world, like at restaurants? Like would I trust, I don't know, I've never met anyone that actually like does themselves like at home, like but prepared by a chef like at a restaurant. I think that's like a really popular, like a fancy food, like staple. Not obviously I wouldn't go to a McDonald's and like, obviously I know they don't sell like steak tartares, but just like in restaurants and fancy restaurants, aren't those like a staple? I wouldn't, I personally think it's just disgusting, but I know that it's very popular in other places and lots of people love this. So it's kind of crazy to think like, okay, so it's banned in Canada, like, are there countries where this is banned? And like seriously, like the restaurants were like sending like they were gonna like, I don't know, they were gonna close the place down. So it's like, hey, well, I'll stop like doing like offering steak tartare. That kind of crazy to me. I think that was one of those like, what do you mean? The clips, I would say, look absolutely disgusting. I'm sorry, there's no way to look this, like maybe it tastes incredible, I don't know, I wouldn't have it, I don't want to have it, but it just looks disgusting. It just looks like raw meat, and it's just like, why is it sort of like blended? I don't know, it just looks like something that's not fit for human consumption, because it is raw. So it's like, I don't know if you should be like eating raw meat like as a human being. I don't think like we're meant to do this. So I can't, but what do I know? It's just my opinion. The whole like Special K was really like also quite surprising, because it's funny that I'm like, yes, it's being marketed, I think, for us as long as I can remember. Like Special K has always been marketed as sort of like the healthiest, like if it's your breakfast cereal, like it's just like the healthiest option, like because you have all those sugary cereals, you have like your, I don't know, yeah, your Cinnamon Crunch or your Fruit Loops or whatever. It's like the whole like all array, like the Oreos, you know, the others. Like, do you have all the other like very sugary like cereals, and then this is being sold and has always been sold as like, oh, it's the healthy option. Like if you're grabbing cereal, like you have to grab this Special K, because yes, that's a good one. But I know that once, in semi-recent, a lot of years, like not that recent, but a lot of, like, when people have started getting to like the whole thing of like, no, actually you have to check what you're actually eating. Like, it's not healthy, like, still, at the end of the day, like, it's still a cereal, like, it's still having cereal for breakfast is not really, like, the healthiest option. If that's, if you want to have it, like, that's obviously your prerogative, that's your choice. But do not do this thinking, oh, I'm taking, like, the healthiest option, I'm having Special K. It's like, no, if you're having it, just because you want to have it, yeah, sure. But do not, choose this thinking, oh, it's the good option. It's like, no, it's not the good option at all. It's still, like, super sugary. It's still, I don't think, like, cereals are not really like the actual like healthiest choice. So again, and in just in general, I really do think I haven't looked at a package of Special K in a long time, but I'm pretty sure like still it's very sugary and still has like a lot of additives and stuff that I don't know if like it's actually the better option out of the others. So again, I haven't like looked at the nutrition label, but it's kind of like was funny to me that it's like, oh, that's exactly why they're being why they're banned. It's like you can't actually market yourself as being like, oh, we're so healthy, like we have like a lot of vitamins and stuff, because I think people, and again, maybe it's less so in recent years because I think there's more of an emphasis on people actually like checking the labels of what you're actually eating and buying, and it's more like, oh yeah, I mean, you can make an informed choice like yourself if that's obviously what you're into. Like you have to, oh yeah, I'm gonna look at the label, I'm gonna decide, oh no, if I want to have it or not. But like I don't know, 40 years ago, 30 years ago, I don't think people were like that into like reading the nutritional labels. So if it was advertised and if it said so in the cardboard, like in the cardboard box, like, oh, I don't know, like the healthiest option, I don't know, whatever it is, people are just gonna buy it because they're gonna blindly trust them. So it is kind of like funny that it's like that's exactly what you're getting punished. It's because you can't lie like that. It's like good, and actually I'm glad that it's sort of like, yes, they definitely deserve it, because it's like you can't lie in that way, because a lot of people again do not read the labels. So it is like you shouldn't. But it's kind of funny that it's just like no, we do not sell this, like plainly, like we do not sell this. We do not sell this here. The actual, I'm a little, maybe, I don't know, I wouldn't say like shock. Is it shock? I don't know. Like if I think about it, I'm like, maybe am I that shocked that I think a lot of these things are boiled down to like yellow number 5, which is apparently like the most awful thing added. It is a dye, not even an additive. It's just a dye. And apparently like this is if all the banned foods are made, I'm letting that be my guide. Yellow number 5 is like the worst possible dye that you can like have in your food or whatever it is that you're having. So I get what they're talking about, like yes, hyperactivity, like all the other like bad things, and it changes your DNA and creates mutations and it gives you cancer. It's like, oh my god, this is insane. Because of like, again, I haven't like checked. I know some things I do know that have yellow number 5, but is it like a thing of like everything has yellow number 5 apparently? I don't know, I'm gonna start like checking things out if they have this, because I'm like scared now. Although I do know, and I know that there's like a rational part of your brain that you should always like, you have to keep this in mind, that like if you ever look at the not the FDA, but like the equivalent to the FDA, or like I don't know, like studies that they people that scientists like do, a lot of things give you cancer. Like a lot of things they do not give you cancer, but it's like I'm just like, oh my god, you're getting cancer. No, but it's like the whole, it creates it gives you like the likelihood, and it improves like the chances of you getting cancer if you actually consume this, again, long term, but a long time. Like if you actually do this, like, if you actually consume this, or you've been consuming this for a long time. Of course, if you have this like every once in a while, I think it should be okay. But it just in general. So a lot of these things are not like, oh, you had Skittles and you're constantly consume Skittles, like you're gonna get cancer at some point. No, it's not like that. Which I think again, it can lead to like a slippery slope of people being so freaked out by the whole thing. Because again, if you read those labels, and not the labels, the whole like the studies that I'm referring to, and all the whole like banned sort of like food colorings or food, or even just not even colorings, just additives and whatever it is that people put on food, like you're gonna be like, oh great, so I can't actually eat anything. Because even like natural sort of like foods and natural like products that exist in nature, like they'll tell you, hey, this is actually dangerous. It's like, oh my god, okay, like even I think like coffee beans are actually like they're increased risk of cancer. And it's like, it's coffee, like the coffee bean. I'm not talking about like the Starbucks like sugary drink. No, I'm talking about like the actual coffee bean, or even just I don't know, like the small like burnt food, like that also increases your risk. So it's like, oh my god, so you're not safe. It's like, yeah, if you actually like get around to like reading all of those stuff, like you're gonna get the whole, great, I'm not eating anything, like nothing's safe. So I think like we need to have like a little bit of a balance between, yes, understanding that there are maybe some increased risks, but at the same time, you know, we don't have to like, oh yes, you know, you're sorry, like that's gonna be in the cards for you because like you're a human person that has consumed things. It's like no, I mean like it's crazy. But yeah, the yellow number 5, I'm like maybe I should start taking like my own word of advice and be like, oh my god, should I be scared? No, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I should like read up on this. And also like the pork and the chicken and the meat is like funny that basically all 3, yes, because they're missing fish, but I think most like protein sources or most normal protein sources for people that are not vegans or vegetarians are banned. It's like, okay, like, you know, so in the United States, like people do not eat pork, do not eat chicken, like do not eat anything. It's like, okay, so what should I eat? And this is where I'm getting at. It's like, okay, so I don't eat anything basically because everything's banned in other countries just because it's risky. So it's like, it leads to a slippery slope of like, I'm not eating anything. This makes me so depressed. It's like, I don't want to eat anything. But yes, you know, again, we need to have like a little more of like, let's think about this logically. Yes, you know, maybe do not have that. Maybe think about your food choices and what you're actually having. But let's not fall into like this fear mongering. It's like, you know, maybe be more conscious, but you know, do not let like derail your life because it can be a little crazy. But that was it for today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.